I have known Margaret Eckles-Ray for many years now. She has been a big supporter of the Unstoppable You Conference. And what blessed my heart is that Margaret made plans to, and had attended the conference in Jacksonville, Florida a few years ago. Now, it was she had family there, but she wanted to get there and support as well. And that spoke volumes to me. As I got to know Margaret, I realized that she had an incredible testimony that needed to be shared. And I am honored to share the stage with Margaret. Here is a little bit about her. Margaret Eckles-Ray is a certified drug and alcohol counselor and a driven entrepreneur hailing from Queens, New York. Her post-secondary educational journey began in 1978 at the University of Maryland, College Park, ultimately earning her Bachelor's of Arts degree in 2013 from the York College of Pennsylvania. After a successful 10-year stint in the telecommunications industry, Margaret pursued her passion to enter the field of substance use order in 2012. Margaret is now pursuing her dream of providing even greater assistance to York County. She is a devoted advocate and actively contributes to the community. She serves on the board of directors of Pennsylvania Certification Board and holds the position of vice chair of the York Opiate Collaborative Board of Directors. And we actually have a half-page ad in the program for the York Opiate Collaborative. Additionally, Margaret is affiliated with notable groups such as Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Inc. Incorporated. Oh, don't throw anything at me. Wait a minute. Can I get a hands see, y'all roll deep. Y'all see the signs, the symbols? Okay, when somebody does that little boo-boo, what would y'all throw at them? I know y'all got something red and white. It better not be a tomato with some paste on it or something. All right, I'm watching you. Okay, can I say Delta Sigma? Okay, what's the appropriate thing? The only fraternity sorority, it was the Navy for me. Yes, sir. No, ma'am. I don't know. Okay, what's the appropriate way? Somebody help me out. Delta Sigma. Can I do DST? Okay. Hold the tomatoes with the paste. Don't throw anything at the host. That was my fault. See, Margaret, you had such an elaborate, I was trying to be cool with it when I got to the sorority part. I tried. I'm just going to skip this part. Let me get down to the last sentence. Margaret is dedicated to transforming her dreams into reality. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you will be inspired by Margaret's presentation titled, How Did I Get Here? Give it up for Miss Margaret Eckles-Ray. Woo! Here you go. Take deep breath.
Is it still morning? Good morning. Good morning. I'm super nervous. And it's not like I don't speak often. Every time I have to present, I just get nervous. But where's Tavon? Is he still in the room? Oh my God. I just need to say to you, thank you for setting me up. You set it up so I can hopefully hit it out the park. You set it up for me. Justice, oh my God, where is she? Thank you. Y'all set it up. I believe that God puts things in position for us and puts people in the same room and puts the energy in the same place to just show us who he is and what we can do with that. It is just so amazing how I was sitting there listening to Justice, and I knew from the beginning that was her story. I said, it's her. I knew it was her. And then when I watched Tavon, and I know a little bit of his story, and him and I go back and forth with the accolades and the attagirls and the attaboys because I'm just so inspired by this young man and his energy. So let's just talk about me. So we're going to go to that first picture. That's who I am. She did all of that. Let's go to the next picture. So that's me. So my topic is, how did I get here? And I was born in 1960 to a single parent in Queens General Hospital, New York City, a woman who did not know that she was pregnant. And for a number of years, my auntie and her friends called me gas pockets because that's why she went to the hospital for gas. She went to the hospital for gas, and there I came. And she told me from as far back as I could remember that I was born for a reason, that I was meant to do something. So I kind of started fostering through, and as you look at the middle years, you can go to the next one. That's me. That's me. So that's the middle years. So my middle years, so my mom, we didn't have a lot. We didn't have a lot, but my mom saw fit to find a way. She had me in Catholic school. She put me in Catholic school in first grade. Now, single parent. So I was in school with people that had two parents. He asked the question, how many people had two? Most of the kids that I went to school with had two parents. I was fortunate that there were uniforms because, like I said, we didn't have a lot. You know, it was garden apartments, but to me, they was through the projects. You know, it was like 6, 7, 12 people in one apartment. You know, all the neighbors knew everybody, but that's when it was a village because you got beat by the neighbors, and then when mom got home, they beat you too, and all that good stuff. But they taught me how to really kind of understand what I needed to do. There were some expectations that were placed on me. There were some expectations that I needed to do. But let me talk about, because in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and even 90s, we weren't talking about, in our households, low self-esteem. We weren't talking about being insecure. We weren't talking about mental health issues. We weren't talking about none of that, because whatever was going on in our house stayed in our house, and it was nobody else's business. So when we were suffering, because let me talk about how I didn't feel accepted. You know, because in my era, I was too dark, I was too thin, and my hair was too short. So I was with people that I didn't feel a part of and didn't feel accepted by because I just didn't fit in to their standards, right? So you're a little girl thinking that you don't fit in. You know, I didn't have, you know, you couldn't be daddy's little girl because daddy wasn't there. So I remember I used to think all the guys, the men and the handsome dark men on TV was my dads, and he just was going to come get me one day. That never happened. So I got to high school. No, wait, don't change it yet. So that 8th grade graduation picture, what I was smart. I was the valedictorian of my 8th grade class. And I talk, because who said they talk a lot? Talk. I still talk a lot, though. Talk. But I was smart. So I was the valedictorian of my 8th grade class, and I went from St. Catherine's, and I transitioned to high school. And before I left St. Catherine's, there was a new junior high school in Queens called IS 238. And everybody was leaving St. Catherine's to go to 238. And I wanted to go because they was going, all my friends were going, but they really weren't my friends, right? Because once again, I didn't fit in with the crew. The principal told my mom, if you let her go, she'll never graduate. She needs to stay here where there's some structure. So I stayed, and I graduated. So I got to high school. That's my high school years, right? And I found out I could run. I was fast. I was real fast. And my track life started when we weren't even in the metric system. I was still running the 220 and the 440, you know. So it was before 200 meters and 400 meters. That's how far back I go. But I was fast, and I was good. And I was all over the news. I was all in the newspapers. We were on TV. Anybody from New York know about the Colgate Women's Games? I was all over there. I ran for the Adams Track Club briefly. And I was transitioning into the college years. And I remember my coach, we put him on the map, and he went to Princeton. He became the track coach of Princeton. He wouldn't take us with him. Like, I really wanted to go. I was smart. I was still in the top 3% of my graduating class coming out of high school. I think I had maybe 1,100 SATs. That didn't matter. I don't test well. But anywho, I wanted to go to Princeton because my track coach had really set us up. You know what I mean? I set him up. We put him on the map, and he just, whatever. So anywho, Frank Costello from the University of Maryland was there visiting, and he said, come check out College Park. And I did. Fell in love with the campus. didn't get in. Imagine that. He had to tell me to reapply, so I had to reapply. So I came in through track scholarship, so it worked. Still had good grades, but I never left home. And then I still didn't fit in because I'm an out-of-towner, and I'm always an out-of-towner. I got there, met some friends, lived my best life. Them 8 o'clock classes were a piece of work. I never showed up either, Tavon. Don't feel bad. I wasn't there. And I wanted to hang out with my girls, and there was a group of girls that said, we going to a rush. I said, well, what's a rush? And got to the rush and met those women of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated and did what I did and pledged. And after I pledged, I partied. And I partied some more. And I partied some more. In my senior year, I got pregnant. And I had my son in November, and I walked across the stage in December. But I owed the University of Maryland 11 credits, and I didn't get back there. I never got back. And my life changed. So those were just smiles. I met, I was introduced to substances in my younger years, but those substances, they were just something to do. And then I met my kryptonite. And, first it was cute, then it was fun, then it was, to be socially acceptable, and then it was Nightmare on Elm Street. So I had my son, and life was great until it wasn't. And I started just like losing everything. That's why some of my pictures a lot of my pictures, trophies, everything are gone because I lost everything, and I lost everything a whole lot of times. So the next picture, boom. And let me tell you about this next picture. It took me forever to get a mugshot. I was calling people that I knew, like police officers, like, can you look? This is actually my last mugshot, my last one. But I was trying to find the first one. So this is 20-something years ago, and why am I smiling? Because it was the last one, right? It was the last one. Look, because I know I got about 50, 11 mugshots rolling through somewhere, right? So 1992 was my first introduction to the correctional system, and it was right here in York, Pennsylvania. No, 1989, I lied. I came here, and I went back to New York. So drugs, and drugs. I used drugs, I sold drugs, and you can't sell drugs when you use drugs. That's just a dumb idea, but you thinking you're smart, and smart addicts are dangerous addicts because we know everything, can't tell us nothing about nothing. We're going to talk ourselves in and out of any situation. We are smarter than the average bear. Please don't talk to me about nothing because I'm going to tell you what's right. And I would talk myself into a jumpsuit every time. So, I would not reach out to my friends from college. I would not reach out to the people that I cared about because I was embarrassed, I was ashamed, I wasn't supposed to be here. That's not how my mama raised me. Girl, what is wrong with you? And the guilt and the shame repeatedly showed up in my life. Dixie, another one. I talk about the divine intervention when we did the little meet and greet for this conference. She talked about New Life for Girls. And let me tell you about New Life for Girls. So, 1995, I said I needed to change my life. And God, I need you to help me. And when you get in those daggone foxholes, because we always asking God to help us when we're in a foxhole. Like, God, if you get me out of this one, I swear, I won't do it no more. Lord, please just help me. Just get me out of this one. So I found out, because I'm sitting in the county, and I was one of those people that the guards hated me because I was the representative. I was the advocate for the female inmates, and I was writing 801s, and I was doing all this kind of stuff. And I was the lawyer, the judge, the chief representative. You can't do that, and we are people, and we got rights. And they just kept looking at me like, you need to either go sit down or go to the hole. You got your choice. So I go sit down. And Although I did go to the hole a few times. But New Life for Girls accepted me. And I went to the intro out in Maryland. And I went in there telling them how to run their program. So y'all already know what happened, right? I went in there trying to tell them how to run their program. And Tito and Susie were so sick of me, they kicked me out. But they said, we're not going to send you home. We're going to send you up to New York. So they sent me to the Bronx. And I had a chance. But I had a PO that me and her fought like cats and dogs. Like, she knew that I was, as a matter of fact, because let me talk about my kids. I got to bring my kids to this because I don't know when my time's going to run out. So I gave birth to 5 children. I had the good fortune of raising 3, my boys, for the most part, once I got my life together. My girls were taken. My rights were terminated. And I had to watch them grow up in the county of York. Not being able to connect with them, not being able to bond with them, not being able to nurture them, not being able to hold them. And again, the guilt and shame just continued to take me where it took me. So I got to the PV hearing, and smart, going to tell the judge what I'm going to tell the judge, and I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and I'm going to leave here and go back to the Bronx, and I'm just going to finish New Life for Girls, and everything's going to be good. And he said, nope. So I ended up at SCI Muncie, okay? And got up there, and you have that evaluation that they do when you get in. They do the little mental health evaluation, see where they're going to put you if you're level 2, level 3, level 4. So I went in there like, well, I just left New Life for Girls, and God has told me that I'm going to do great things, and I've already worked with my problem, and I really don't need to go into any type of treatment program here because I'm good. And he said, okay, boom. And he stamped me with the Wings of Life. The Wings of Life was an inpatient program up there, and I went through that process. I got to the point it was time to get out, and I kept signing myself out of the program because I really didn't want to deal with feelings and emotions, because we don't deal with feelings and emotions. We don't deal with feelings and emotions. There's nothing wrong with me. It's you. It's not me. It's you. Come on now. I just need to get up out here and get my things back, because let me talk about things is what made me feel that I was all right. Nice house, nice car, nice shoes, nice clothes. Now, I still like shoes and clothes, don't get me wrong. But it doesn't determine who I am anymore. That's not who I am. It's just what I have. There's a difference. But I wanted to get back to my things. And he's gone. But he said, let me tell you something, Holmes. He's from Philly. He was an OG from Philly, West Philly. He said, let me tell you something, Holmes. This one you just signed right here, you don't have to write no more. I'm going to hold on to this one. You sign out of this program again, and you know that you don't leave here till your max date. Because, in the county, you got good time and all other good stuff. Up there, you got a minimum and a maximum. When I walked through the door, they asked me, where you want your body sent? And I was like, what body? What's going on? What happened? I'm just here to do time. Wait, I'm not trying to die. And they put me behind, you go to quarantine, they put you behind those double doors, and then they put you behind the next double doors, and I cried. Tough girl, New York City, Southside, Jamaica, Queens, I'm ready for anybody. I was crying like a broke down shotgun. I was so devastated and afraid of where I was. Needless to say, I left there. I never went back. But I did make one more mistake. So that was the first part. So when I got out, I got myself together. I got married. Ain't him cute? Got married. And then I got pregnant with my last child, the one that's going to keep me out the nursing home. And I was doing all right. But I still didn't work on me, hadn't worked on me, had not worked on me, didn't know how to work on me, didn't want to work on me, couldn't figure it out, because once again, we don't talk about mental health. We don't talk about stress and strife. We don't do anything, but we just keep it moving. We just keep it moving. We just do what we do. So we talk about the motivation. My motivation was just getting another day clean. So that last time, so after that, one more time, that next click, boom, I went back to jail. That's the last time. You can keep moving. I was back out of control, but it was a short trip. It was a short trip because I realized I was in and out. And when I got out, like I said, I just celebrated 23 years of long-term recovery. I never went back. And I got into a field of telecommunications because, addicts, we good at selling stuff. We can talk a good game. We do all that kind of stuff. We sell. We can do what we need to do. So I did well in telecommunications. And I said, God, if you let me stay clean long enough, I want to go back into the field. I want to go into the field of substance use disorder. I want to help people. I want to make a difference because somebody was there for me. Somebody was there for me. There was people there for me. So in 2012, I started working in the field of substance use disorder, and I went in on the ground floor. Like, I had a degree, and I was doing some things, and I was this, but I wanted to go on the ground floor because I know if I want to stay in this field, right, I want to be able to know each aspect of that role of that field. So I transitioned, and I went from being now they're called behavioral health associates. They were clinical technicians, and I went to be a case manager. Then I was a care coordinator. Then I went into business development, and then I went back to direct care. I love direct care. I love working with the people. I love being down in the trenches. So I was a mobile assessor, and I was answering my phone all hours of the day and night, and I was doing well, and I was, but I wanted to do more. And I was feeling stifled, and I was always fighting. And it's funny because you know, us dark folks, if we not smiling, we got an attitude, and I'm just always an angry black woman to most people. And it's sad because I'm fearful that I always have to walk around on eggshells because you might think that I'm trying to offend you. And then I'm always wanting to help people, and I want to help you because I want to help you because somebody helped me. There was so many people that have mentored me and poured into my spirit and given me help, and my crew from back in college, they've never left me like I left them. So when I got back, right, I said, I don't care what happens. I'm going to do what I can do to make somebody understand that we matter. Like, so that stigma of addicts, because you sometimes you scared to tell people you used to do drugs, so they be like, oh, really? And they start grabbing bags and pearls and, Come on now. But it's the reality in everybody's life. In everybody's life. How'd I get here? I got here because God saw fit to save my life. I remember the guy shot at the chair and not at me. I remember I walked into a spot and there was guns pointing at us all around, and I don't know how I got out that building, but we got out alive. So I've made so many bad decisions in my life, and I said it's time for me to make some good decisions. So I tell my story when I can tell my story. I'm not ashamed of my story anymore because my story is going to help somebody in this room because we always are so afraid to tell the truth about who we are. But I realize whose we are, and that's why I'm still here. So my last position is so funny because I had been planning an exit from my last position. And I was not sure how to do it. And you can't be afraid to make a decision that's going to help yourself and help others. But I was afraid. And let me tell you why I was afraid. Because, I started my first business in October of 21. Motivational speaking, encouraging, empowering, telling women that they can do what they want to do, be what they want to be, get what they want to be, no matter where they come from. So we're talking about drugs, we're talking about alcohol, we're talking about jail, we're talking about bad relationships, we're talking about human trafficking, we're talking about battered wives syndrome, we're talking about mental health issues. Like, let's all get it right and move in a direction of strength and unity. Because sometimes we as women, we don't always want to help a sister out. It's like I got mine, you get yours the best way you know how, sis, because it took me a long time to get here, and that's just not my story. I'm going to pull you with me because somebody pulled me with them. And that's the only way we are ever going to survive. You get the side eyes, and I'm like, okay, we good. And you, because sometimes I think I want to check a sister, and I'm like, I don't check them. You must not know who I am. No, it don't matter. You start twisting your head and, and like, no. Because God has brought you a mighty long way. You need to remember what your job is right now. And my job is to tell the truth about who I am and who's I am. My job is to make sure that I leave a legacy for my grandchildren. My job is to make sure that I leave something in this community, you know, because I'm an interloper. I'm not from here. And they laugh, and I laugh about it because they say, girl, you've been here 30 years. You from here? No, no. But I need to make my mark and claim York because this is where I live, right? Right? That's what I got to do. So my past position, like I said, I've been transitioning, trying to I made a plan to go, and all these things were going on. And then finally, you know when you've been in a relationship long past the expiration date, right? But you scared. You know, I'm this close to retirement age, right? But I know I need to be working to the lunchtime on the day of my funeral because I didn't live right earlier, right? So I have to build a legacy. I have to build my future. And I have to build my future by creating a legacy for my grandchildren and creating something for the people that I know are just like me, were afraid to speak up and say, what can I do? So, right, I'm a certified drug and alcohol counselor. I am a community servant. I sit on boards and I work and I do what I do. But you know what? So can anybody else. Because if I'd have kept that mentality, what'd you say, Tavon? If you keep that mentality, you don't go no farther. That's where you go. If you stay right here, if you keep your mind right here, if you stay stuck on stupid, no offense, that's where you stay, is stuck. So I had a young lady that I'd hired right out of college, and I just wanted her to go. She worked for me, and I just needed her to go. And once she was going, I was going to go. You know what I mean? And she came. I couldn't give her no more money because they wouldn't give me no more money, right? She had a double master's. I made sure she got all her certifications. I mentored her because she looked like me, right? Because that's what we're supposed to do, right? That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to reach back and lead the next one so that they can pay it forward because someone paid it forward for me. So what happened? She left. And I was planning my exit, and then I just left. So I resigned from my last position on September 3rd of this year. And the day after I wrote that letter, I received a letter, an email, from the first grant that I made an application to apply for my new nonprofit. So my first business, thank you, my first business is the motivational speaking. And I've now started a nonprofit called Her House, and that's H.E.R. Healing, Empowerment, and Restoration. It's a place for women. We're going to get it licensed, and it's going to be a halfway house that provides treatment, case management, life services, mental health services, MAT if they need it, a she cave downstairs, a big kitchen. That's my vision. But I want to be able to let women know that there's a place for them to go because there isn't always a place here in this town for us. And we need it. There's a need. So if you're coming out of jail, if you're coming out of treatment and you need to go to a lower level of care, if you're coming off the street, if you just need an opportunity to get your life together till you can get your own life in order. And what I mean is, because sometimes folks need to be rehabilitated, and sometimes folks need to be habilitated. You ain't never learned how to cook an egg. You ain't never learned how to write a check. You know, you ain't never learned how to wash your laundry. You know what I mean? So we want to be able to provide those services to those in need. So the light has turned red, and I'm not going to hold you hostage, but I just need to say this. I am so grateful because I was afraid to leave. And I was afraid to leave because I was too old. I was too black, and I talked too much. And I just felt that nobody was going to give me an opportunity. But God said, you deserve this. You deserve to have the opportunity to give back what was given to you. The last time I came home, and I'm going to end with this, there's a sorority sister that's no longer with us. And one of my girlfriends who I used to do time would say, come on, girl, because every time you come home, you got to go to church. Come on, girl, let's go to church. So I went to church with her, and I met this woman, and she had an elephant around her neck. And I said, are you adult? She said, yes, I am. I said, so am I. And then I've always been, I have to tell you who I am because I don't want somebody else to tell you who I am. I'm going to tell you who I am myself. All right? I'm going to tell you who I am. So I told her who I was. She looked just like my mom. And she took me under her wing. And she never let me go until she closed her eyes. And that woman empowered me and spoke life into me. And she told me, you don't never have to worry about where you came from. It's where you're going that you need to focus on. So I thank you for allowing me to hold you hostage for these 20-some-odd minutes. And I hope that I've made sense and made a difference in someone's life. My phone still rings from my old job, believe it or not, and I still help people when they call me. So just know that God is good. He's awesome. We're here for a reason. This right here, Jennifer, what you do is beyond phenomenal. And that's why I continue to follow you. Thank you.